Lions facing defeat. Second round of vote on 7 July. And Venezuela secure a place in quarterfinals of Copa America, beating Jamaica by 3-0. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is News at 10 on BTV and BTV World. I am Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui. You just heard the headlines. Let's move on to the details of those and other stories.
শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা সম্বন্ধে আমি বলতে চাই এর আমূল পরিবর্তন করতে হবে। যে শিক্ষা মানুষের মঙ্গলের জন্য হয় না সেই শিক্ষাকে বাদ দিয়ে যে শিক্ষা মানুষের মঙ্গলের জন্য হয় সেই দিকে আমাদের নজর দিতে হবে।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has directed the authorities concerned to implement the national budget for 2024-25 fiscal year with transparency, surveillance and care. The directive was given at the weekly cabinet meeting held with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the chair at the Prime Minister's office today. The meeting approved the principle, the draft of Institute of Frontier Technology Act 2024. The meeting also approved the draft of the export policy for 2024 to 2027. The Prime Minister put emphasis on increasing export of goods to different countries. Cabinet Secretary Mohammad Mahbub Hussain briefed reporters after the meeting at the Secretariat. The Cabinet also approved a proposal to form a 100% government-owned company titled Podda Bridge Operation and Maintenance Company PLC. Responding to the question from journalists about the export policy, the Cabinet Secretary said the head of the government has instructed to formulate an export policy paying special attention to the facilities which will be closed after Bangladesh's graduation to developing country. A four-member delegation of Dawoodi Bohra community paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her office today. President of Bohra community, Qaid Zohar Ujjainwala, led the delegation. After the call on, Deputy Press Secretary to the Prime Minister K.M. Shekhawat Moon briefed the reporters. He said during the meeting the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that Dawoodi Bohra community will live peacefully like other communities in Bangladesh. All will live together in Bangladesh regardless of caste and religion, she said. The Premier also assured them of all kinds of assistance. The delegation praised the Prime Minister's leadership for communal harmony, security, socio-economic development and progress in Bangladesh. At the same time, they highlighted Sheikh Hasina's contribution to human welfare. Leaders of the Dawoodi Bohra community greeted the Prime Minister with flowers. They presented a handmade portrait of Bangabandhu and a picture of their community leader Sheikh Tahir Bhai with Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister M. Tafazul Hussain Mia, among others, was present. The followers of Dawoodi Bohra community are spread all over the world. The number of followers of the community in Bangladesh is about 1,200. They mainly live in Chittagong and Old Dhaka. Their leader is Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin. Newly appointed non-resident ambassadors of Greece, Lithuania and Malawi presented their credentials to President Mohammad Shahabuddin at Bongo Bhavan this morning. On arrival at Bongo Bhavan, the new envoys were given guard of honor by a contingent of President's Guard Regiment. New Ambassador of Greece, Alikikotsu Mitopoulou, Lithuania's Ambassador Diana Mikavisiene, and Ambassador of Malawi, Leonard Mengezi, presented their credentials to the President. Welcoming the new ambassadors, President Mohammad Shahabuddin said that Bangladesh prioritizes to develop bilateral relations with various countries of the world as well as the expansion of multilateral relations. The President urged the envoys to use all possibilities to embolden trade and commercial ties between Bangladesh and their respective countries, noting that Bangladesh produces world-standard quality items including medicines, ready-made garments, leather products, jute and jute goods. President Mohammad Shahabuddin urged the envoys to work for increasing import of world-standard products from Bangladesh. The President sought the European Union's support and cooperation so that Bangladesh could successfully attain the GSP Plus trade benefits after its transition from an LDC to a developing country. President's Press Secretary Mohammad al-Abidin said that during the meeting, the new ambassadors sought the President's cooperation in discharging their duties. President's Office Secretary Mohammad Waidul Islam Khan and Military Secretary Major General Muhammad Adil Chaudhry were present. National Local Government Union Council Amendment Bill 2024 was passed at Jatiyo সংসদ today. LGRD and Cooperatives Minister Muhammad Tajul Islam introduced the bill at the House, which was passed unanimously. The bill was passed to further amend Local Government Union Council Act 2009. The House resumed its sitting with Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry in the chair. During the discussion, Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister Muhammad Tajul Islam said National Institute of Local Government (NILG) is continuing training programs for the public representatives. The minister said local government institutions have to build themselves up as self-reliant. During the discussion, members of parliament urged to increase honorarium of the Union Council chairman, members, chowkidars and dafadars. The sitting of the House will resume at 9:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry urged the young generation to play a leading role in building Bangladesh free from poverty, exploitation and discrimination by taking higher education and enlightening themselves. The Speaker said this while addressing a discussion titled Higher Education for Skill Development of Young Generation, marking the 104th Dhaka University Day at TSC in the capital today. Dhaka University Vice-Chancellor Professor Dr. A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal presided over the function. The program was also addressed by Dhaka University Pro-Vice-Chancellor Administration, Professor Dr. Muhammad Samad, Pro-Vice-Chancellor Academic, Professor Dr. Shitesh Chandra Bachar, Benazir Ahmed MP, Professor Emeritus of Dhaka University Sirajul Islam Chaudhry, Dhaka University Alumni Association President Anwarul Alam Chaudhry and Bangladesh Chhatra League President Saddam Hussain. Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry said the youth should be empowered and enriched with higher education to fulfill their social responsibilities and work for the betterment of the backward sections of the society. Senate and syndicate members of the university, deans of various faculties along with teachers, students, alumni and officers, employees participated in the discussion. Awami League General Secretary Abdul Qadir said, Agreement and Memorandum of Understanding MOU do not mean the same thing. BNP leaders do not understand the meaning of diplomatic language, he added. Abdul Qadir said this while addressing a discussion marking 75th founding anniversary of Bangladesh Awami League organized by Dhaka City North Awami League at Tejgaon in the capital today.
আমাদের বন্ধু তোমরা ভারতের দাসত্ব চেয়েছিলে ভারতের সাথে 25 বছরের মৈত্রী চুক্তি বঙ্গবন্ধু করে গিয়েছেন বলেই আজকে সীমান্ত সমস্যার 68 বছরের সমাধান হয় বাংলাদেশের সমান আরেকটা বাংলাদেশ সমুদ্র সীমায় আমরা ভারতের কাছ থেকে আদায় করতে পেরেছি এবার কিন্তু কোনো চুক্তি হয় নাই মির্জা ফখরুল সমঝোতা স্মারক আর চুক্তি এই দুটো কি এক পড়াশোনা করেন না ডিপ্লোমেসির ভাষা জানেন না জেনে নেন সমঝোতা স্মারক আর চুক্তি এক কথা নয়
Starting that Militants emerged during BNP tenure. The Awami League General Secretary expressed his wonder how BNP can be against militancy.
ফখরুল বলে জঙ্গিবাদের বিরুদ্ধে নাকি লড়াই করছেন এই বাংলা ভাই শায়ক রহমান জঙ্গিবাদ কারা সৃষ্টি করেছে এক জেলা বাদে 63 জেলা 500 জায়গা একসঙ্গে বোমা মনে আছে কারা করেছে বিএনপি নেতাদের চোখে ঘুম না মির্জা ফখরুলের মনে অশান্তির আগুন ইন আর আউটার ইন চলছে বিএনপিতে আওয়ামী লীগের বিরুদ্ধে আন্দোলন করবে কখন তারা নিজেরা নিজেদেরকে বিশ্বাস করে না অমনি বলে সরকারের এজেন্ট
Presided over by President of Dhaka City North Awami League Sheikh Rahman, the discussion was also addressed by Awami League Presidium member Jahangir Kobi Nanok and General Secretary of Dhaka City North Awami League SM Mannan Kochi. Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood and Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan led a bilateral meeting between the two countries. They emphasized on increasing more Saudi investment in Bangladesh in the meeting in Saudi Arabian capital Riyadh today. During the meeting, the Saudi Foreign Minister appreciated the development of Saudi Arabian capital Riyadh today. During the meeting, the Saudi Foreign Minister appreciated the development and progress of Bangladesh under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The discussions focused on enhancing Saudi investment in Bangladesh's special economic zones and exploring opportunities for Saudi Arabian funds to be deposited in Bangladesh's offshore accounts. Prime Minister's Private Industry and Investment Advisor Salman F. Rahman and Bangladesh Ambassador to Saudi Arabia Dr. Mohammad Javed Patwari were present, among others, high-ranking officials at the meeting. The two foreign ministers underscored the necessity of energizing the activities of the Bangladesh-Saudi Arabia Joint Business Council (JBC) to boost commercial relations between the two nations. Both the leaders also discussed special privileges for Bangladesh in importing oil from Saudi Arabia. Besides, the minister discussed various bilateral issues, including the Rohingya issue. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Muhammad Ali Arafat has accused BNP of spreading propaganda and falsehood over the Memorandum of Understanding MOU signed between Bangladesh and India recently. The State Minister made the remarks while addressing a press briefing at his ministry's conference room in response to BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir's recent remarks on the MOU signed during Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's recent India visit. He said BNP is spreading propaganda and falsehood over the MOU without reading and understanding all of its clauses. The party is misleading people by partially presenting some clauses of the agreement. Noting that Bangladesh's recent MOU with India is not a subservient foreign policy of the government in any way, but it is beneficial for both the friendly countries. He said BNP is spreading propaganda claiming that if Indian trains run through Bangladesh, it will create a security risk here, which is not right at all.
মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর যে বক্তব্যগুলো দিয়েছেন এগুলো একেবারেই অসত্য এবং ডাহা মিথ্যা কথা এবং সমঝোতা স্মারকের সকল ধারা উনি হয়তো পড়েননি। যে কথাগুলো বলা হচ্ছে যে বাংলাদেশের বুক চিরে ভারতীয় ট্রেন এক প্রান্ত থেকে আরেক প্রান্তে যাবে, এই সমঝোতা স্মারকে এটিও বলা আছে যে ভারতের মধ্য দিয়েও বাংলাদেশের ট্রেন নেপাল এবং ভুটানে যাবে এবং নেপাল এবং ভুটান থেকে বাংলাদেশের ট্রেন বা তাদের ট্রেন ভারতের মধ্য দিয়ে বাংলাদেশে এসে মংলা পোর্ট বা চিটাগং পোর্ট ব্যবহার করবে। তারা কিন্তু এখন কলকাতা পোর্ট ব্যবহার করে, অর্থাৎ আমাদের পোর্টগুলোকে আমরা লাভজনক করব। তাহলে কি আপনি বলবেন যে ভারতের নতজানু পররাষ্ট্রনীতি হয়ে গেল? বিষয়টি কিন্তু আসলে আঞ্চলিক সহযোগিতার বিষয়, এই বিষয়গুলো না বুঝে এই অসত্য কথাগুলি বলা হচ্ছে। সমঝোতা স্মারকের পুরো বিষয়টি যে একটা উইন উইন, দুই দেশের জন্য যে লাভজনক, এই বিষয়টি উল্লেখ না করে খণ্ডিতভাবে তারা অপপ্রচারের সাথে এই মিথ্যাচার করছে। মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর এই কথা বলেছেন এবং অনেক অপপ্রচারকারী এটি বলছে যে আমাদের নাকি নিরাপত্তার ঝুঁকির মধ্যে পড়ে যাবো আমরা। কিভাবে? যে ভারত যে ট্রেন নিয়ে যাবে বাংলাদেশের ভিতর দিয়ে, সেখানে তারা আর্মি এবং মিলিটারি সামরিক অস্ত্রশস্ত্র নিয়ে যেতে পারে, তাতে জিওপলিটিক্যাল একটা ক্রাইসিস তৈরি হতে পারে। আর্মস, অ্যামিউনেশন অ্যান্ড এক্সপ্লোসিভস এগুলো নেওয়া যাবে না, এই সমঝোতা স্মারকেই পরিষ্কারভাবে বলা আছে। ভারতের ট্রেন বাংলাদেশের ভিতরে ঢুকে পড়লেই এটা বাংলাদেশের আইনের মধ্যে অপারেটেড হতে হবে। একইভাবে বাংলাদেশের ট্রেন যখন ভারতের ভিতরে ঢুকে নেপাল বা ভুটানে যাবে, সেটা ভারতের আইনের মধ্যে অপারেটেড হবে। অর্থাৎ আমরা কিন্তু আমাদের আইনের মধ্যে এটাকে অপারেশনের বাইরে যাওয়ার কোনো সুযোগ নেই। কাজে এটা টোটালি বাংলাদেশের মানুষকে বিভ্রান্ত করার জন্য, উস্কানি দেওয়ার জন্য কল্পিত একটা রূপকথার গল্প তারা তৈরি করেছে, যেটা আমাদের নিরাপত্তা ঝুঁকিতে ফেলবে।
The State Minister said there are several diplomatic successes of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in regards to bilateral relations with India.
এই যে সমুদ্র সীমা, এটা কে জয় করেছেন? বঙ্গবন্ধু কন্যা শেখ হাসিনা। বিএনপি জামাত ক্ষমতায় ছিল, কখনো তো উদ্যোগও নেয়নি। স্থল সীমার বিরোধ নিষ্পত্তি করেছি এবং এই নিষ্পত্তির ফলে একটি কথা অনেকে বলে না, আমাদের যে আয়তন বাংলাদেশে, সেখানে 10,500 একর জমি যুক্ত হয়েছে, আমরা লাভবান হয়েছি। ভারতের মাটিতে ভারতের গ্যাস ব্যবহার করে ভারতে উৎপাদিত বিদ্যুৎ ত্রিপুরার পালাটানা প্রজেক্ট থেকে সবচেয়ে কম দামে আমরা বাংলাদেশে নিয়ে আসি। আমাদের 10টা অ্যাচিভমেন্ট আছে, দুটো হয়তো এখনো আমরা অ্যাচিভ করতে পারিনি, কিন্তু এটা যদি হয় শেখ হাসিনা হাত ধরে হবে। বিএনপি ক্ষমতায় যখন ছিল কখনো এই কথা তোলেনি, আগামী দিনও তুলবে না। ওরা শুধু আওয়ামী লীগের ব্যর্থতাগুলো তুলে ধরার চেষ্টা করে এবং বিকৃতভাবে অসত্য এবং মিথ্যাচারের মাধ্যমে।
Terming BNP's politics as subservient one, he said BNP came to power in 2001 by giving undertaking to supply gas to India.
2014 সালে যখন বিজেপি নির্বাচনে জিতলো, নরেন্দ্র মোদী প্রথম প্রধানমন্ত্রী হলেন, তখন মিষ্টি বিতরণ কারা করেছিল? প্রধানমন্ত্রী হিসেবে ভারতে গিয়ে বেগম খালেদা জিয়া গঙ্গার পানির বন্টনের কথা বলেন নাই। এটাকে কি বলে? বলিষ্ঠ পররাষ্ট্রনীতি নাকি নত জানো? একবার জন্য তারা তিস্তার কথা তুলেছিল, আনা তো দূরের কথা। তো যে তুলেই না, সে আজকে সমালোচনা করে কোন মুখে? আর আমরা তো এটাও জানি, ভারতকে গ্যাস দেওয়ার মুচলেকা দিয়ে তারপর 2001 সালে তারা কিভাবে ক্ষমতায় এসছে।
The State Minister accused BNP leaders of telling lies frequently, saying that they can do these since their standard of integrity is not up to the mark. The Protto scheme under the Universal Pension Scheme of the government kicked off today. The future employees of more than 400 autonomous, semi-autonomous, statutory and similar organizations will come under the new pension scheme. Another program for government employees will be introduced from July 1 in 2025. Insiders said with this initiative, this system will have a sustainable foundation for pension management. The government launched the universal pension system with 4 schemes titled Progoti, Probash, Shurkha and Shamota in August last year. The new scheme Protto became effective today for more than 400 autonomous, semi-autonomous, statutory and similar organizations. The government has introduced the universal pension scheme to ensure social safety of the employees, said Muhammad Ghulam Mustafa, member of the National Universal Pension Authority. The universal pension scheme is 10% risk-free and a guaranteed agreement. And now international news. The United States Supreme Court rules Donald Trump cannot be prosecuted for official actions taken as president, but can for private acts, in a landmark ruling recognizing for the first time any form of presidential immunity from prosecution. The justices, in a 6-3 ruling written by Chief Justice John Roberts, threw out a lower court's decision rejecting Trump's claim of immunity for criminal charges involving his efforts to undo his 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. The 6 conservative justices were in the majority, as 3 liberals dissented. Chief Justice Roberts said courts conclude that constitutional structure of separated powers, the nature of presidential power requires that former president have some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his tenure in office. At least with respect to the president's exercise of his core constitutional powers, this immunity must be absolute. As for his remaining official actions, he is also entitled to immunity, Roberts added. Israeli tanks have advanced on the Gaza city district of Shujaiya, trapping civilians and intense fighting. Footage shows the Israeli military using Palestinian prisoners as human shields to search for explosives in Gaza. Israel's military has said 18 of its soldiers were injured, one of them seriously, when a drone struck their position in the occupied Golan Heights, which borders Lebanon. At least 37,877 people have been killed and 86,969 injured in Israel's war on Gaza since October 7. France's far right is in pole position after the first round of parliamentary elections that confirmed their dominance in French politics and brought them to the gates of power. Supporters of Marine Le Pen's anti-immigration national rally RN cheered as she said the president's Macronist bloc has been all but wiped out. RN was on course to win 33.2% of the vote, with the left-wing alliance behind on 28.1% and the Macron alliance behind on 21%. Never before has the far right won the first round of a French parliamentary election. The simple fact that it has become possible is historic, says veteran commentator Alain Duhalem. What Marine Le Pen and Jordan Bardella want is an absolute majority of 289 seats in the 577-seat National Assembly. Seat projections for next Sunday's second round runoff votes suggest they may fall short. And now weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at most places over Rangpur, Rajshahi, Dhaka, Mymensingh, Khulna, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions, with moderately heavy to very heavy falls at places over the country. Night temperature may remain nearly unchanged and day temperature may rise slightly over the country, said the Met Office. And now sports news. Venezuela beat Jamaica by 3-0 goals to reach the quarterfinals of the Copa America. The first half of the match ended goalless at the Q2 Stadium in USA. However, Venezuela took the lead in the 49th minute through Eduardo Bello. Solomon Rondon doubled the margin in the 56th minute. Eric Ramirez scored the third goal for the team in the 85th minute. Meanwhile, Ecuador reached the quarterfinals while they made goalless draw with Mexico in another match of the group. Ecuador will face Argentina in the quarterfinals on July 5. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina instructs to implement the budget for fiscal 2024-25 with transparency, surveillance and care. Local Government Union Porishad Amendment Bill 2024 passed in Jatiyo Shongshud. Agreement and Memorandum of Understanding MOU do not mean the same thing. BNP leaders do not understand meaning of diplomatic language, says Obaidul Qadir. Foreign ministers of Bangladesh and Saudi Arabia hold bilateral meeting emphasizing on increase of Saudi investment in Bangladesh. BNP is spreading propaganda and falsehood over the MOU between Bangladesh and India. and misleading people by partially presenting some of its clauses, says Muhammad Ali Arafat. New scheme Protto under Universal Pension Scheme kicks off today. Pension system to stand on a strong foundation, say analysts. France's far-right National Rally Party wins first round of parliamentary elections. President Macron's alliance facing defeat. Second round of votes on 7 July. And Venezuela secure a place in quarter-finals of Copa America, beating Jamaica by 3-0. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us. Our next bulletin is coming up at 11:30 in Bangla. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.